Okay, I'm at 38 and 40 Greenwood Avenue, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a two-family home. And we're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, things like that. Anything that would be of concern to the buyer. Our access is basically you have a PVC stack that is coming down and going through what looks to be an old toilet flange. Probably should be sealed around it. It wasn't. It's just resting in there. So without having to clean out, though, this gives us an access. And so I believe this goes over and ties in with the other unit, and then should head out, as it looks like it is. It goes underneath the wall, and then heads out. Does look like this is cast iron. Cast iron isn't a bad material, but it does have a life expectancy. And in this case, what we're doing is we're looking for any major structural issues. You can never really tell how thin or thick the pipe walls are by inspecting it from the interior, but you're looking for any holes or anything that looks like there's any kind of structural issues. Cast iron's a little more susceptible to soft clogs. Those are like excessive toilet paper, wet wipes can be a bigger problem, just due to how rough, as you can see, how rough the interior of the pipe is. This looks overall really good. I mean, it looks like it's holding shape. There is that normal, kind of like channeling that goes on at the bottom of the pipe. That's pretty common with cast iron. Overall, the pipe is wide open, so that's good. So this should tell us as we get down further, once we exit the house, it should switch it to clay, which looks like what we're doing here. And there we go. We immediately have some root intrusion. So I wanted to rinse that off, but right here at the transition, there's some root intrusion. And the first section here also has some root intrusion. I'm going to see if we can punch through this here. It is holding water, and probably due to some root intrusion here. So I can feel it. It does feel soft, but it doesn't feel like. You can see how my camera's kind of sticking into it, and it does not want to go through. So we'll try this for a second and see if I can get it to punch through here. I feel like I'm getting kind of close, but there's a lot of root intrusion here. About 52 feet. Yeah, this is really a lot of root intrusion. I can't believe I've made it as far as I have already. But at least identify it now that this is all root intrusion. I'm only out about 53 feet. Surprised I kind of made it this far through all this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to go any further. I got it a little bit. I believe I got that to go through there. So 52 to 55 feet, and you can see the water just flowing down behind it where I've poked a little bit of a hole in it. but that was really a lot of roots there. About 52 to 55 feet, that place, that spot, really full of roots. And you can see remnants of roots as we go by. Roots are really common in clay lines, but that heavy amount that we had up by the house at 52 to 55 feet is going to, at the very least, it's going to have to be cleaned. So I'm pushing out. I know it's kind of hard to see because of all the stuff on the camera right now, but I'm going to try to push all the way out and see as far as I can get. There's an offset here, which I was able to jump. A lot of times that happens just because of the pitch. And so that wasn't drastic, but good news is we made it all the way to the main now. I'm going to see if I can get some water to flow down through this line. So that I can kind of try to rinse the camera off. I'll see if I can dip down into that main. Sometimes that helps, but let's see. We want the camera to rinse off. There we go. Just want that camera to rinse off so we can see. You usually can see a lot better as you pull back through this stuff once the camera's clear, because you're not punching through. And so there is roots the majority of the length of the line. I know I repeated it, but the 52 to 55 foot mark is almost made it to where I couldn't finish the inspection. You've got about a medium offset here at about 82 feet. I do have a pretty heavy 11-degree pitch. I'm going to see if I can. There we go. We popped it over it, and then I'm going to go get a. I'm going to actually pause the video, and I'm going to locate this spot just in case it is off the property, and just in case there's, in case they want to take a further look at this. I mean, it's a medium offset. I don't think it's causing any major issues as far as there's not a whole lot of solids, build up right there. But then again, we have so many roots up at the, in that middle 50s area. There's probably not a whole lot other than water making it down to this point, but it looks like it's got a good 10-degree pitch on it right there, so it's probably overtaking it just fine. But I still want to go ahead and mark it for reference, and in case it is off the property, that you can refer to either a plumber for their evaluation or to the sewer department and see if they will do any repairs. Okay, so this is out in the street, actually, about 5 to 6 feet off the curb into the street, so this is the responsibility of the sewer department. So you could have them evaluate it, take a look at it, and see if there's anything that they would recommend. I don't think they're going to do anything at this point because it is overtaking it, and it doesn't look like it's causing any problems, but it is pretty good offset. The camera's able to jump over it relatively easily, so I doubt that they're going to do anything. It doesn't seem to be obstructing flow. So I'm going to have to probably push all the way back down and rinse the camera off again because it's really hazy. So we're going to drop down in there and see if we can rinse this off and make sure it looks good. There we go. So as we pull back again past that 82-foot mark, and hopefully that won't get anything on our camera. There we go. There's a little bit of damage on that, but it's just offset. It's not really an issue. It looks like the major roots stop around not 70 feet here, so you can just see all the. This is definitely going to need to be cleaned. So I haven't seen any major structural damage. You could, obviously it's going to need an initial cleaning, and you may need to re-inspect it after that to see how or if there's any damage. See, 55 feet is right in here. We don't know, with the amount of root intrusion that you have here and how packed it is, there may be damage behind all this root intrusion. You just see, it's a couple feet of root intrusion that is blocking enough that, and so we should be coming back into that cast iron. Here we go. So mainly, I mean, it starts at right where it exits the building at about 50 feet here, down to about 70 feet, and that's where all the roots are. But obviously the biggest thing there again is 52 to 55 feet. It's coming close to blocking the whole line, and that does need to be cleaned. And then in the future, you could run a chemical down it once a year to try to keep those roots down. There are permanent solutions such as liners and just digging it up and replacing it. This would probably be a good candidate for lining if you wanted to go that route, but it is expensive, and they would still have to probably dig it up outside to put a clean out in to be able to put that in. So usually what people have done for a very long time is just do some maintenance on it, that including, I know you've already seen a lot of this, but I'd like for it to be cleaner, even though it's just getting worse. Try to push out and see if I can rinse this camera off. I know we already inspected this part, but I just can't believe that I can't get the eggs off the camera here. Yep, I think I'm just going to have to do without here, because I have no way of running water down here with pipe the way it is. I mean, we did already inspect all this on the way out. It's just always nice to get it on the way back too. But again, what I was getting at with you could put some Root X in there about once a year. It's a chemical, but right now it does need a major cleaning to be able to get that root intrusion out at that 50-foot mark. 50 to 55 feet, basically 52 to 55 feet was the real heavy stuff. Let's see, we're back out of there. Biggest problem is all that black stuff, just the cast iron. Cast iron tends to, when it rusts, the iron, it's like basically turns into liquid charcoal. It's just black, kind of sooty stuff from the iron rusting. But that's what was covering the camera, so you can tell we made it all the way back. So the cast iron on the inside looks like it's in pretty good shape. Structurally, I didn't see any damage to it at all. On the and it is functioning properly. On the outside with the clay, you do have some major root intrusion at that 52 to 55 foot mark again, and that offset at about 81, I believe, 82 feet, somewhere around there. The offset is minor and probably won't, and it is off the property, so it's not the homeowner's responsibility. So that's not really anything major, but the root intrusion should be taken care of soon to keep from the line backing up. If it's not done soon, it will probably back up into the building within a pretty short period of time, under heavy use, especially if you had two tenants and not just one. And so I'm going to recommend that you do a cleaning to clean the roots, and then do a, usually somebody that cleans can do a re-inspection to make sure that there's no major damage at that at that 52 to 55 foot mark with those excessive roots, it's probably fine. But then yearly do some root X, and maybe another inspection after about 5 years or so, just to kind of check the growth rate and see if you need to modify the maintenance schedule at all to increase or lessen the amount of treatment you're doing for the root intrusion. But again, overall, I think the line is good structurally. It just needs some maintenance on a regular basis. So that'll end the inspection at 38 and 40 Greenwood Avenue in Dayton, Ohio.